Hampshire put their heavy defeat on Saturday to Derbyshire behind them as they sent Lancashire to their second Royal London One-Day Cup defeat in 2 days, thanks to an extraordinary innings from Glenn Maxwell, who helped his side win at the Emirates Old Trafford by 148 runs. Lancashire lost the toss for the second day in succession, but started well with the ball as Kyle Jarvis trapped James Vince in front for 5 in the 4th over. 53 runs came off the 10 overs of power play, with Jimmy Adams hitting the first 6 of this day-night match in the 10th over off Jarvis. But the Hampshire skipper was out in the next over for 41 as he missed time to pull off Wayne White to Paul Horton at mid-wicket. Maxwell's start was not out of the ordinary. He'd made only 14 runs off his first 22 balls, but he then started to find the rope with some audacious cricket shots, many of which were out of the ordinary. His first 50 runs used up 45 deliveries, and with each ball he faced, his confidence was growing. Will Smith tried to give him as much of the strike as possible as Maxwell then began to play one shot after another. As it went on, this innings became a brutal assault on the Lancashire bowlers, who were not helped by a shoulder injury to Kabir Ali early on. This shot was typical as Maxwell threw himself and the kitchen sink at a ball from Jordan Clark. It was the Australian's only 6 in his amazing 100. He did smash 17 fours in his ton, however, as none of the home attack could stem the flow of runs coming off his bat. His 100 was reached in the 28th over as he struck Stephen Parry for successive boundaries to get to his ton off 75 balls, his second 50 coming off just 30. This was one-day batting at its very best. He wasn't done yet either. He pulled what appeared to be a perfectly good delivery for his second 6 as his partnership with Smith became the largest in List A cricket for Hampshire's 3rd wicket against this opposition. 1 over from Carl Brown cost 17 runs as the stands moved on to 179 from 22 overs. Maxwell racing to a career best 146 from only 96 balls. He'd struck his last 100 runs of 52 deliveries. In 2 hours of mayhem, Maxwell had almost taken this game away from Lancashire. The score reading 236 for 3 in the 33rd over when he belted this ball from White to Horton as if his wrists were made of elastic. Lancashire were desperately hoping that normal service would now be resumed. Smith was out for a 59-ball 49 as he was LBW to Jarvis. But the punishment wasn't over yet for the home side. Sean Irvine almost picked up where Maxwell had left off by hitting the ball to all parts. The 300 was brought up in the 42nd over, and a total of 400 was not completely out of reach. Irvine's 50 arrived off his 38th ball, from which he struck 4 fours and a 6. The team total was soon to become the highest one-day one ever conceded by Lancashire, and the highest ever on this famous ground. That was because Irvine hadn't finished the onslaught just yet. He went after Parry, whose 10 overs cost 75 runs. It was probably a good learning experience for the England Lion. He actually finished off his spell strongly. He had Irvine stumped for a 64, which had been made off 46 balls. In fact, Hampshire made only 32 runs off the final 5 overs after Matt Coles was out for a second ball duck, and was soon followed back to the pavilion by Liam Dawson, who gave Parry his 3rd wicket, Clark with the catch of the ball, not the bat. Adam Wheater made a mess of an uppercut off White to be caught by the keeper Alex Davis. And the visitors lost a 5th wicket for 28 runs in 5 overs when Chris Wood was run out by Davis off a no-ball, the innings ending with Hampshire making a massive 360 for 9 from their 50 overs. It could have been even more, but it was still a very, very tough chase for Lancashire, one made even tougher when Usman Khawaja was bowled by Wood in the 3rd over of the reply. All, of course, was not lost at this stage. Brown had smashed a scintillating century of his own in the loss to Yorkshire on the previous day, and he looked in very good nick again at number 3. He and Ashwell Prince added 33 in 5.5 overs. Only for the South African to get right under this shot off Wood to allow Dawson to judge the catch well, coming onto the pitch to do so. The big wicket was the one of Brown, who cut James Tomlinson to Maxwell at the start of the 11th over with the score on 59 for 3, Brown gone for 35. Tomlinson and Maxwell combined again in the bowler's next over to get rid of Stephen Croft. At 71 for 4 after 13 overs, Lancashire was staring at a very heavy defeat. Their batsmen did have their moments. Clark hit Danny Briggs for a 6, while Houghton played some clever shots in adding 64 runs for the 5th wicket, a partnership made in 11 overs. But the run rate required was nearing 9 per over when Clark was bowled by Dawson at the end of the 24th over, with 226 runs still required. Houghton did at least manage to make it to a 50 off 47 balls, getting there with his 7th 4, but once that was done it was perhaps inevitable that in the search of quick runs more wickets would tumble. Houghton was out for 57, Dawson finding plenty of turn to bowl him with a score on 150 for 6 after 26 overs. White went after Briggs with this maximum, but Lancashire needed many more of those if they were going to get anywhere close. With 6s needed, the boundary fielders had to be alert. Vince took the catch to remove White for 13. Parry then fed Maxwell his 3rd catch at point as the 5 Hampshire bowlers shared the wickets around. Coles got that one and the wicket of Davis, who clubbed him to Vince to go for 40. And Vince also caught Ali to give Briggs his 2nd wicket and to end the match in Lancashire's 38th over as they were dismissed for 212. That meant a victory for Hampshire by a mammoth 148 runs. After their own very heavy defeat in Derby on the previous day, they are now on the road to Lords. They next come up against Gloucestershire in Bristol on Thursday, while Lancashire will need to regroup ahead of their next game, which is at Essex on Tuesday week.